Hi everyone, welcome to another video, and if you've not seen any of my videos before, my name is Katie. I'm also known as Clean Coach Katie. I am a personal trainer and also a running coach. So today's video is going to be all about half marathon training and how you can beat your current PB. Now, when I first started training, the half marathon distance was one of the first distances I actually raced. I did do a few 5Ks, but rather than doing a 10K, I just jumped into booking up for a half marathon. So the first half marathon I did was back in September of, I think, 2013 now, and I completed that in 2 hours and around 3 or 4 minutes. I wanted under 2 hours, but unfortunately was not able to do that on the day, and my now half marathon PB stands at 1 hour 29 and 50 seconds. So I have beaten that elusive sub 90 barrier. Woohoo! So yes, the video is just going to be a hopefully short video on some top tips on how you can try and beat your current PB. So let's just get straight into it with all of the 5 top tips that I have for you today. So my tip number 1 is to get yourself a training plan. Now, I wouldn't get just any training plan, I'd get one that is specific to you. I would recommend training for around 8 to 12 weeks if you're wanting to build up to the half marathon distance or to achieve a new PB, as your body needs to get used to the adaptations. You also need to factor in a few tapering weeks to make sure that you're in the best position possible on the day. So it needs to be progressive. I would say get a training plan and maybe get yourself a coach or something, or give it to someone else, just so that when it's written down it makes you more accountable and you're more likely to stick to it. Having a training plan means that you're more dedicated, you're more focused, you're more driven, and it's going to get you to that start line on race day. Now, tip number 2 is how to structure your training. Now, you know, this might come before a training plan, but if you don't know how to structure your training plan, then this is what I recommend. So I recommend keeping a long run on the weekend. Now, I would always recommend doing these long runs easier. So take this run around 30 to 60 seconds per mile slower than what your race pace is going to be on the day. I wouldn't recommend going and doing your sort of target race pace every single weekend, because you're just going to exhaust yourself, and the idea is that you're getting yourself from one training session to the next. If you end up being too tired from one training session, then how is the next one going to be any good if you're just too exhausted from the last one that you just did? So yes, long runs, 1 per week, and build it up progressively. If you're up to sort of say 10K distance right now, but you have even done half marathons in the past, then just build it up week per week. Then towards the end of your training plan, you can start to build in sort of race pace miles. So for example, some of my clients, they will do an 8-mile run, and in that they'll do 2 miles easy, 4 miles at their race pace, and 2 miles easy again. So you can start to factor, but I wouldn't do all of the long runs at race pace. Another key session after the long run is then what we call intervals. Now, intervals are bursts of effort, then followed by a recovery period. So you don't just go for a continuous run, you'll run a certain distance or for a certain time, you'll stop, you'll recover, and then you'll go again. The idea is that you run these intervals at quite a fast pace, faster than sort of either half marathon pace, and then you start to work towards sort of 5K and 10K target pace. And the idea of this is to help sort of if you run faster, then it will make your easier runs feel easier. You then also are going to strengthen all of the muscles, all the joints and the ligaments in your body, and you're also then going to build up your aerobic threshold. So it's going to teach you how to run faster, and it's just going to make you stronger for race day itself. If you've never done intervals before but you want to keep it simple, I'd stick to certain things like 400 meters, 800 meters, or working up to sort of 1 mile reps. And 400 meters obviously is 0.25 of a mile, and what you'll do is you'll try and target sort of 5K or 10K pace. You're wanting to go faster than what you're wanting to run your half marathon pace at, so sort of try and build up sort of around 3 miles to 4 miles of effort. If you break that down, so say if you're doing 400 meters, you then can do sort of around 8 to 12 of those reps, all targeting 5K pace, and you can take say a minute to 2 minutes rest in between. You know, a minute if you're more of an advance, but 2 minutes say if you're quite new to intervals. You can also do intervals based on time, so you can say I'm going to do a mile warm-up, I'm going to do 1 mile easy jog, 1 mile fast, and for that 1 minute you sort of just try and push to not your maximum but quite high intensity. Then you do another minute easy, another minute hard. Now I get some clients to do sort of say 10 all the way, if you're quite advanced, working up to 20 reps of those. That can be a tough session, but it's also a good one to do. Along with that, you can then start to build in tempo runs. So tempo runs are my favourite. Sarcasm right there. But tempo runs is basically running up to your threshold. So your body, when you start to exercise, your body creates lactic acid. Now, when you're running aerobically, you're running quite efficiently and your body can get rid of that lactic acid quite quickly. However, when you work up towards your threshold, your body then starts to find it harder to get rid of that lactic acid because you're working harder. So you want to work to that threshold, but you don't want to push over it. So I describe tempo runs as running at a comfortable, uncomfortable pace. So it is tough work, but also you can feel comfortable with it, so that you don't want to lose your form and you don't want to lose your stride. Now on some days on a tempo run, I can go and run quite fast. Now on another day, I feel like I'm putting the same amount of effort, but I'm not running at the same speed. And that can be down to a number of factors, with your sleep, your hydration, you know, the terrain that you're running on, and just how you feel on that day. So tempo runs, I try to get people to run at sort of either their half marathon pace or quicker. So basically, sometimes once I build up to it, I can, before race day, I can sort of run about an hour at my half marathon pace and hold it and not feel, I feel tired afterwards, but not too much. So I would recommend, some people find it quite easy to run their half marathon target pace for a distance, but you know, you've got to try and push past that, and it takes a lot of mental strength and effort to do so. So yes, they are tough, but you know, start to build those efforts into your training plan, those tempo runs. So you can again sort of build it into a 4 or 5 mile run, where you'll do a mile warm up and then you'll do a couple of miles at sort of your half marathon pace, or if not quicker, and then again you take it back down to then do a cool down. So the 3 runs that you should be incorporating are a long run, some form of intervals, and a tempo run. And then around that, you should then, if your body can handle it, you can build in some easier recovery runs. So you could sort of be running 4 to 5 times a week. But if not, just those 3 staples are going to help you get that half marathon PB that you desire. Tip number 3 is to work on your strength and your core. Now, strength is not all about heavy lifting in the gym, but it's about building up the weaker areas of your body to make them stronger, to help them last for that half marathon distance, as it is a long way. Now, some of my clients have sort of weaker areas, and a lot of those can be down to sort of like your hips, your glutes, and lower back, things like that. So what I try and do is I focus on those target areas and work with clients to build them and help them become stronger. So definitely work on glutes, work on hip strength, target your core, but also work on your quads and your hamstrings, because your legs are the ones that help produce that power along with the hips. So definitely work on strength and core work and build that into your routine at least once a week, if not twice a week, and that as well will definitely help you. It helps prevent injury as well, so that's what we're looking for, is because if you're fit and well, then you can consistently carry on with your training plan. However, if you don't build that work into it and you're doing a lot of distance and you're starting those interval training sessions, then it's going to take a lot more toll on your body. So tip number 4 is all about recovery. Now, I said it before that each training session has a purpose, and each purpose has something towards that end goal. Now, if you can't take yourself from one training session to the next, how are you going to be able to complete that end goal? So the idea is that you don't exhaust yourself too much in one session to be able to get to the next run session, and in between that there's lots of different things that you can do to help recover. So a lot of time I make sure that I do some stretching and foam rolling, especially on running days, and then also look after myself in terms of body and also mind. So you need to have rest days. Some people don't, but you need to have rest days. Now, I also build in yoga into my training just to make sure that I'm nice and flexible and mobile, and it really helps after long runs. I also try and make sure I get enough sleep. Now, that is sometimes a lot harder with my schedule, as I have to be up very early, but sleep is really a key important factor of that. And then as well, if you look at your nutrition and your hydration, so making sure that you're Drinking lots of water throughout the day, and also on running days, you know, you're having a lot of water, maybe not too much before a long run if you need to go to the toilet, but making sure that you hydrate during and also after. You get rid of a lot of salt when you're running, so you need to replace that with electrolytes, and also your food. Now, you know, it's really important to find out what works best for you, and then obviously build that into your plan. So obviously eating really good wholesome foods is going to be the best thing for you, rather than just eating lots of junk. It makes you feel rubbish, lethargic, tired, and also you need to be eating the right foods after your training to help the muscles recover and repair quicker, and also replace the glycogen stores that you would have used during your training. So recovery is a really important part of it. And also, as I said before, about looking after your mind, you know, having those rest days, taking them out from the running, doing stuff for yourself. It doesn't even need to be about training, but just making sure that, you know, everything is all at one together. And a lot of people have said about the triangle, you need to make sure that balance, and you can take different things. You can have your training, you can have sleep, and you can have, say, nutrition. And if one of those falls out of, like, you know, if you don't get enough sleep, then your training's going to be affected. You know, and your nutrition, if you don't look after your nutrition enough, then your sleep's going to be affected maybe, and then that has a knock-on effect with your training. And if your training's not good, then your nutrition probably is going to be on point, because, you know, when you train, you eat better. So you just need to make sure that whatever's in that triangle, you're making sure that it all stays nice and balanced. Top tip number 5 is all about your kit. Now, your kit can be either the clothes that you wear, it can be about your hydration and your fuel and everything that you have to prepare on those runs. So making sure that you wear, even like wearing the wrong shorts for training can have an impact. So make sure you know what you're going to be wearing on race day, so that you're not fiddling about or flipping anything that's feeling uncomfortable. So you know that you're wearing the most comfortable trainers, you know you're wearing the right socks, so you're not going to get any blisters, you're wearing the most comfortable shorts. If they've got pockets, you can store your gels. And again, with that, whatever you use in training, you need to use on the day. So if you've been training with a particular style of gel, make sure that you use those. You know, if you're using shot blocks or real food, making sure that you have those on the day. And hydration, thinking about what it's going to be like. So if you need to take a hydration pack, or if you've looked up and you know that it's bottles or cups, you need to prepare for that. And also preparing like the actual course itself, so making sure you understand what the course is like and how you're going to prepare for it on race day. So there we have it, my 5 top tips for beating your half marathon PB. You know, getting a training plan, making sure it's progressive, it's specific to you, building in those important runs, making sure that you recover, you're doing your strength training, and everything comes together on the day. Now, a personal best, like a PB is a personal best. It means that you've run your best you ever have done. So to be able to do that, you know, you need to be in the best shape, you need to be in the right mindset on the day, you need to tell yourself, I can do this, and the conditions, i.e. the course and the weather, need to be perfect on the day. So everything needs to come together as one, and if you've done all the right prep and everything is right on that day, you will definitely succeed and PB. So I hope that you can put these into your training, get that PB, and let me know how you all get on. If this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will be producing more videos like this very soon on how you can PB over various distances, all my top tips for race day, and I'll see you all very soon.